Yee. So, we're finally back. Woo! Okay, it's been a while, been a long break, but we're finally back with Roll for Story, starting a new adventure, a new arc. And as a little bit of a recap to what's happened up till now, I'll be giving us sort of a wrap up of what happened last session. But before we do that, let's just go around and have a little introduction. You know what? I'm going to confuse you guys and say, let's start with the players who joined the game first, the Roll for Story world. So, starting with. That's you, Steph.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. Hi, I'm Steph. I play Irina, the Hexblade Warlock.
And we'll go in order from there.
Oh. It's the same routine we go through on a Monday with Housebreakers, just a different character.
Hi, I'm Kirsty. I play Andy the Bard with a touch of rogue.
And then you got to work it out.
Technically, it'd be
Team
you.
building exercise.
Yeah.
Put yourselves in birthday order without talking to each other.
Hello, I'm Jamie. I play Llewellyn Aaronwood, the half-elf wizard of necromancy, with a cool-ass book that consumes monsters to gain spells.
Which Dungeons and Dragons have stolen.
Yeah.
They have. Yeah, all my ideas.
And then they would be Cam next.
Would it be me? Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
You join.
I'm Cameron. I play Kashan, the Tabaxi monk.
And of course, saving the best till last, I'm James. I play Carius, the cleric sorcerer, both storm related.
Excellent. Yeah, and that was the order in which everyone joined the game. But a little recap. So, continuing Kishan's pilgrimage for enlightenment, he has followed the scrolls of his mentor, Ladorvu, and through them, he has followed a trail leading to what's known as the Stratus Archipelago. They needed to find a boat from Weave to sail on through, and thankfully, Datan's grandfather was just the right captain to board, Captain Montipop. Anyway, you arrived, and all did not seem well. In the scroll, it detailed that there were two tribes and that were at peace here, and it was a flourishing civilization, and yet all you found was overgrown, floating islands full of dangers and, well, mysteries, ruins. Picking up the pieces one by one, you did discover two different siding tribes, which you kind of chalked up to be perhaps the original tribes, but they had changed in strange ways, no longer even speaking the common tongue. One side was the Borzo tribe, small little furry Ewok fellas, and then the other were the hive mind dryads known as the Sigil Leaf. Putting the pieces together, it seems like these two tribes had some sort of catastrophe, some sort of disaster happened here, and civilization turned to ruin. Turns out there was one last bastion, a place where the tribes once came together in unity, a place known as the Shrine of Sun and Moon. And finally, venturing inside, after annoying puzzles on the entrances, you finally worked your way inside and found a sort of altar to both tribes, a place where they could both worship their own sort of gods in unity. And this sealed door was opened once you defeated its guardians and brought both the light of the sun and the moon together, almost forming this sort of solar eclipse. Opening it up, you encountered an individual you had not expected to find here. Natasha, otherwise known as Sinvala, the daughter of Baba Yaga herself, was here sort of deciphering a Ore, which is a model version of like the solar system. And it seems like she was trying to pinpoint a specific alignment of celestial bodies, and she had not yet figured it out. Only Llewellyn has really met this character, or even that's a stretch because you kind of met her copy, her shadow. But regardless, it seemed like you got along with her. She seemed very headstrong in her dreams, in her pursuits. Anyway, moving on further in, Kashan, you discovered a ancient chamber beneath an ancient library. This seemed to hold a testing grounds, a place where you could take on the role of the keeper, or the keeper, effectively, not just of the library, but of a special gift that is apparently passed down. This is a gift of the sun and moon. Um, Unfortunately, though, it wasn't a simple test. This, in fact, tested all your abilities, both mental strength, agility. It took all the strength of your entire party to actually defeat this strange construction, or literally a floating sun and a floating moon, which both used spells and slammed into you guys. But after that grueling battle, finally defeating it, Kashan, you had found another chamber leading even deeper inside, and there was a pool of water. Behind that, a strange tablet depicting all the planes of existence, perhaps? Maybe at least the elemental ones you could make out. And there was a pool of water before you, and it seemed like the only obvious answer was to drink this. And you were gifted the tongue of the sun and moon, allowing you to instantly understand and commune with anyone of any kind of language. They will understand you. You also managed to kind of bring back out of a strange astral projection the two leaders of both tribes, or rather, the two keepers, the previous keepers. They said that they had been trapped within the astral sea for some time, and they didn't risk returning back to their bodies. Otherwise, the danger of them sort of being transformed like their kin before them. And as it happens, when they did return to their bodies, they had found them kind of warped. But Irina, you had a way around this, a way to burn away the curse, and you gathered both tribes inside the chambers, in the main chamber, and here you kind of cast a remove curse spell onto the lens, which acted as a giant magnifying glass to disperse the effect and, well, effectively cure every single member within that chamber of their curse. You saw the Sigilly's flesh sort of strip away, their leaves and vines kind of retreated back to normal elvish looking skin. And as for the Zorbu, the kind of fur and claws receded to reveal a gnomish kin. And there were many praises. Many thanks were given to your group, and they offered up any help that they can muster in your next venture. Unfortunately, that next venture has been decided upon already. Doesn't seem like you had a choice. There are dragons attacking, and it means Carius has to rush back home before they reach him. Apparently, they had met a smaller, younger wormling on the way, known as Zaf. They were searching out a landmass in which his tribe could migrate to, so that they wouldn't need to invade a neighboring province. But it would take many days for him to find said islands, the Sakura Islands specifically, or something of the sort. Regardless, he is lost out at sea, and you don't have time. Apparently, these blue dragons are waiting for what's known as the perfect storm. Once the weather is in optimal destruction, then they will strike. So you need to rush back. Unfortunately, your ship also has been AWOL. They did leave a message for you. Captain Montybot seems to have run into some trouble again with the Bronze Dragonborn, which you encountered earlier, blew up their ship and escaped a deadly maw into the depths, a bottomless pit. You have no idea. Regardless, that all happened. And so you have only one thing to do, and that is devise a method in which to get back to the Claw Coast. And that method, you come to the conclusion, is to go via airship. It's the obvious solution, right? You have tinkering gnomes. You have
Well,
druid
it was more. It's like, we can build a boat. Wait, these have the technology to make islands float. They can make a boat float.
Yes.
That was literally Carius's logic. It's like,
Sam.
We have the technology. All right. In that case, then, you guys can discuss it amongst yourselves. You don't want to hear my voice all session, so feel free to jump straight into character and discuss how you guys have been. It's been a long couple of days, we'll say, kind of relaxing, and whilst you're waiting for the gnomes to sort of draw up schematics and such, you've got your inputs, obviously, that you'd like to add, but for the time being, you've had some downtime and respite and rest, so...
Yeah, which is good, because I've only recently come back from the dead.
Yeah, alright.
That happened as well. Small detail.
Now, I'm pretty sure this was the voice I used for Carius.
Yep, there it is.
And you think you have it so easy. This is going to be
Voice is
interesting.
easy to go into. You don't DM the game.
I don't know. This is going to be very difficult for me.
I mean, if we're talking accents, I mean, I had to practice to make sure I could do it again.
You could do it.
Whereas me, apparently that's Carius's go-to accent when he's drunk.
Watch
I
it.
struggle all the time.
Watch
It's
his
just
Brave
stuff
once.
Don't rock it, it's a good film.
I watched
It is
it
a
this
good
morning.
Anyway, right. So,
So what's the
Rip
plan?
actually, did Riptip? No, Riptip is here still, right?
Yep. I'm here.
Right.
In
It's
his
weird
gnomish
you
self.
hearing me in my own voice for once.
Yeah. I don't have. I can actually, technically, I can ignore you without hearing your voice echoing in my brain if I wanted to.
Should I
Not
talk
saying
like I did before? Like, Bobo, Jaga, Haga, Google?
No,
No,
because
no, please.
then
stop.
you can't answer our questions, and then I might have to slap you.
Oh, well, I might have to stab you again like I did so many times unhesitantly. Sorry about that, by the way. Don't know what came over me.
I've been stabbed by worse things. Lightning bolts from the gods, for example.
At this point, I'll believe it.
Anyway,
I wouldn't say that's technically being stabbed, I'd say that's more being skewered.
skewered, stabbed, they both involve being pierced.
It's like a fork. Skewered.
Lord? Lord?
Anyway,
What do you want?
how long's this ship gonna take to make? Just so we have a ETA.
That depends on how fast we get the resources and how much you want built. Because we can make a small skiff in about a day or two. But if you want a big vessel that's gonna hold like ballista, cannons, that kind of jam, then that's gonna take a bit longer,
If we
I think considering about what we actually saw on the way up here, having some protection on the ship would actually be quite useful. I mean, we
Well,
don't
that's
want
the
one
thing.
of those cloud eaters coming at us again.
Yeah. So let's say you were to make. Carius would know this, but James does not. Trying to think of ship sizes. What's
Sloop,
the second?
Brig.
Loop.
Yeah. Say you had to make a brigandine. How long would that take you?
How many people does that hold?
Well, if we're playing the game Sea of Thieves, I think it's 3.
3.
But
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's not the actual sizes of
No,
ships.
a brig is probably fit for like 20 men, something like that. And then
Yikes,
a
that's big.
galleon would be something like 40, 50 people.
22 men.
22 men. Oh, I was close.
That's a lot. That would take weeks.
What if we were to say?
I can't remember the size of the one we used for shift, because that'd be the right size.
How many of you are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think in terms of how many people are going to be on the ship, we have quite a few friends that might actually join us later on in the journey. So
What are we
Stay
talking?
tuned. Stay tuned. We're working on it. Give us a second.
Yeah.
We've done research because we're actually doing a boat themed comic with about 7 or 8 characters on the boat. So bear with us.
have you been researching the
Fantastic.
butt?
Yes, we researched the butt.
1, 2, 3.
But maybe something with a chamberlain would be awesome.
You got it?
What about like a 13-person ship then?
That's
I mean,
fine.
that would do, but by the looks of it, Irina might have actually been on a boat as well as Andy, so it looks like they're thinking very hard about this. In fact, I think they're sketching a few ideas now.
That way you got like a party, you got your friends over, that's another party, and then you got 3
Schooner.
extras to
You want a
spare.
schooner?
That's the one.
And it definitely needs to be imposing.
Not a boat.
Requiring a crew of 6 to 8.
Uh-huh. Like, we could go a bit bigger than that.
So
Yeah, but you've got to remember, this is a crew of 6 to 8. That's how many
Yeah.
people it takes to man and
it.
work the ship.
How big is that in like dimensions? Do you know the actual length?
It's like a
and-
little pirate ship.
I can get you the dimensions. 1 second.
Are we talking like One Piece? The
I like how we're going really technical.
going
about
merry.
this.
Go
Yeah,
Mary.
just build a boat.
An overall length of less than 131 feet. A waterline length of 30 feet.
Is that like wide?
Yeah.
I see a
Okay.
schooner as like a little bit of a smaller frigate. thing.
Okay, we could do that. I think
It's like it's flashy enough to appear like semi-threatening. Like it's got quite a few sails and things like that.
It's a mini pirate ship.
But it's easy to like for a small crew to man it and run it.
okay. All right. He starts like drawing out schematics and such. Although this isn't my specialty, but I do know what a boat looks like.
I can send you images later, but you know.
Yeah,
mean,
he starts sketching it out. He kind of
could you-
gets a rough idea, and he seems to like right. Okay, let me take this to the druids. The sigil leaf are gonna be shaping the wood after all. It's gonna be their duty to get this piece.
Can I
put
like
together.
get involved with like any sort of knowledge that I've picked up from
Yeah,
the
of
library
course.
and just like
I
I'm basically gonna lean over the top of this gnome and just be like scribbling away.
I slip him like some designs that me and Carius have been working on, in terms of like the figurehead, the flag being the what did we choose for the flag?
The
We wanted it
eclipse.
to be the eclipse.
I tell you what, you can work on that stuff. He says, look, I've got to work on the more mechanical side of things. Don't forget, this thing's gonna fly.
Just
Yeah.
hand it to the druids.
And I think
Oh.
this is probably one of the most important parts. He has like a folded slip of paper and just kind of like tucks it into his hand. And this is going to be the name.
Oh no.
We both
Wow.
did the same thing. We slipped
I-
a piece of paper.
I will say, I do sort of agree with Kashan here. A name is very important. The ship's got to have a name, or it's going under.
Yeah,
Don't
and the ship
worry.
needs to be
I have it all taken care
And
of.
I'm not sure how that works with
And-
a sky ship. Does it go into space and just float
Under
off
the-
forever?
It'll
And
go into the clouds. That's what it'll do.
and the designs we put across is to make it look intimidating, so things think twice about attacking us.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, but we also don't want people stealing it.
That
No,
too.
it is literally our version of the Going Merry. It's
Yeah,
kind
He
of
it's-
funny.
blows a whistle, and you see there's actually a collective of sigil leaf, and at the moment they're conversing with some sort of large tree elemental creature, and it kind of gives a nod, and then these four elves come over. One of them you do remember. It is Ysildia. It is the elf you found in the sarcophagus, and before her face was kind of all congealed with like leaves and vines, but now she has a perfectly working mouth, and she greets you. She says, "Ah, we are in the process of collecting wood, but if you wish to speed up the process, any of you good at shaping natural things?"
Wow, I wish we had a druid.
I can shape water.
Hmm, that would work with a watermill.
Yeah.
Well, obviously a wood mill uses water anyway, so to, like actually saw things. Hmm. Well, we usually are shaping the wood, but what would water be useful for? Suppose you could test the hull to make sure it's intact. There's no leak.
True. I can also control the winds, but I really don't think that's going to help.
I
Unless you want me to blow down leaves or something.
I'm not. I don't know what I can do to help really. Although I could.
I mean, technically, you could create an example of like a model of it with your creation spell.
I don't have that today.
You never have the spells you need when we need them. This is why This is why it took me so long to come back from the dead.
But what?
He's got the point.
I feel the appreciation for that.
No, I appreciate it. It's just like, god damn it, you're like the one person who can bring people back from the dead, and you didn't prepare those spells.
Because I didn't think that Kashan would drag us into the boss fight so soon.
I didn't expect you to follow me.
Well,
You
technically,
sent someone up for me.
technically, it was Rip Dip and the other elf who sort of triggered it more than
You
anything.
lit-
But
You literally sent someone up and said, Lavellen, get down here.
Well,
yeah,
what have we learned?
that Kashan is definitely not the leader of the party because we shouldn't listen to his
No,
orders.
that Kashan can tell you to shut up in many different languages.
Cool.
I mean, I can set things on fire, which means I could probably do some like welding or.
Welding, yes. You'll need to speak to Remdagus. He is overseeing the mechanical construction of the.
Perfect. I'll go do that. I'm gonna
So,
drag Andy along with me.
Okay, okay, I'm going this way
so I do have some things that I'd like to get done before we leave. But I could provide you with one of 4 elementals for an hour at a time if you wish for that.
Ripdip says, "Elementals, why didn't you tell me that before?"
If you'd like an earth or a fire.
Yes, Earth. We needed to like lift things, heavy things.
Right, let me know when you're going to get started and I'll conjure it up. And
We're starting now, and
I do that then.
okay, cool. All right. So the process of actually, wait a minute. Earth elemental, can he go through rock and earth? Yeah, he can he?
I believe so.
Yeah, they literally.
Good, because when we came back into our normal forms, we were like, right, we need some resources, we need some metal to make the mechanical parts. We took a little walk down to the mine, and something terrible has happened. There's been a massive cave in. It looks like, I don't know, someone set off dynamite or something.
But the important point is that you no longer have a wasp problem.
I know. I was there. I was just unconscious. I was unconscious for like the last 5 minutes, and it looks like there was an explosion. What exactly happened last? Because I was out of it.
When you were unconscious, you dropped a stick of dynamite on the floor, and I was on fire. So boom.
Yeah.
It was kind of your fault.
All right, first roll of the new season. Roll a deception check.
Where's deception?
Ooh.
Why is that?
7.
So we rolled 2, but we take the first number.
Okay.
So you got
16.
16. All right. Oh yeah, let's roll Rip Dip. He's around here. Other characters.
Insight.
Yeah, where's Rip Dip? There he is. Insight, not great. Oh, we had no. Wow. Wait a minute. Didn't I remember Andy looting a piece of dynamite before we came into the cave?
Right, and when she picked you up, like, she had to tuck it somewhere, so she tucked it with you, but when you went down, so did the dynamite.
I'm pretty sure that's how it went down.
Right, sure
It
did.
was an accident. We don't hold it against you.
If dynamite had fallen on the floor, it would blow up. You need to strike a match, and then what?
Did you not hear the part where I said I was on fire?
Yes.
He
In
just
fact,
sneezes and it produces a flame.
I would explain why it hurts.
But you
either
all...
way, we need to reopen the mine somehow. That's like a first priority. We need the resources inside that mine.
Well,
And
that one
no,
can
not
punch
the honey.
through walls, so get the cat to do it.
What?
Cat? Oh yeah. Well, I'm thinking the earth elemental actually will do the trick.
Yeah. Speaking of that moment in the mine, I don't suppose you have means of fixing the damage you did to my cloak.
All right, let's get going. Woo, all right, so you guys head out onto the mine, Llewellyn, Rip Dip, and I think that's a good pairing. So I guess, can you give me some sort of check with the earth elemental? It's going to be like strength based to start clearing rubble, lifting boulders out of the way, and basically unearthing the
Yes. Where would I find that? Earth Elemental. There you go. I don't. No, it didn't bring up a character sheet. Okay. That's not good.
You right there?
I
I'm
can't
just
find.
watching all these dots just go.
I'm just
Open the
looking up
character
an
sheet
Earth
for me.
Elemental.
Open a
Because-
character sheet for me.
Yeah,
That laser pointed kitty.
elemental. I see it.
Yeah,
there.
it's very distracting.
Where? Where do you find this Earth
Oh,
Elemental?
okay. Hold on. I think you don't have. Let me check if you haven't got
But there you go. Strength check.
owner. There you go. You should be able to do it. You should be able to use it now. All right.
Huh.
Okay. But it seems like James wrote it for you. It's 18. Pretty strong. All right. Earth Elemental does a great job clearing out the entrance, and as he's able to glide through it as well, he can push from the outside. From the inside out, and just pushing the rubble out, he starts to clear a way for the tram and the rails. They get a cart and they start wheeling it in, and I guess the Earth Elemental, if it lasts long enough, can also be used to start hammering and picking at
Yeah.
things.
It deals double damage to objects and structures as well because it's got a siege monster.
It's true. It's true. In fact, I just noticed something on Andy's sheet, which is kind of funny. At one point during the ongoing process, Rip Dip says, "All right, the mine's back open. We need all hands on deck to help mine the resources. So, if you're good with a mining pick, in fact, we're kind of down a few tools. So, if anyone has a mining pick, that would also be
Oh
great."
yeah. I hand over the toolbox that I've been hoarding.
You've had all the tools. Oh my god.
And Andy, for some reason, has a mining pick.
Yeah.
So I'm bragging.
Yeah, but I've hijacked Andy for the time
Yeah,
being.
you have.
I'll explain in a minute. But
If
you carry
anyone
on.
sees a mining pick, let me know. Let me know. All right. So
I don't have one.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are all these lies? What are you lying?
okay.
You know, just
so
walking around with this mining pick hanging from her waistband, probably.
Flicks the cape over and you see nothing.
Let me get rid of my toolbox.
all right. So heading into the workshop, you see Remdagus and a handful of other gnomes have been putting things back in order. They are looking for their tools, and Llewellyn just pops in, hands a load of tools over, and they're getting ready with some sort of strange contraption, but it doesn't seem to have what they are after just yet. Anyway, Remdagus spots you, and he's like, "Oh, hello, it's Irina, isn't it?"
Oh no, I've actually, that was a ruse. I've taken Andy back into the temple for a minute.
He's talking to a cardboard cutout of Irina.
No,
anyway.
this is Kashan. Irina,
Oh.
fiery one.
Oh, right. Okay, what do you...
The Irina mask is very good.
Just help with that box over there.
I-
Someone with brains.
Okay.
Anyway. Meanwhile, in the library...
Okay, so Irina basically has dragged Andy along, and literally she literally drops to her hands and knees, and she starts like looking under tables and everything like that, and she's literally just like, okay, I've lost something, and I need you to help me find it.
Oh, no.
What does it look like?
Round, gold, picture of a lantern on it.
She's not pilfered it by accident, has she? Just seen, oh, shiny.
I don't know what's happened to it. I remember when I came to after the whole leaf thing, and it's gone.
One moment, and
I
she
don't
starts like
take-
rifling in her bag to make sure she's not
I
picked it
don't
up.
take it off, so I don't know where it is, and I'm literally looking through everything to try and find it because it's my mother's and I need it back.
Ooh. Well, as you look through your belongings, it's nowhere to be found. Where would you have kept it on your person, though? That's the
Around my
question.
neck. It's literally a necklace.
Okay. In that case, was it on a chain, or is it like on
Yeah,
a rope? Okay.
it was on a chain.
All right. You have the chain. You find the chain around your neck, but
Okay.
the emblem which was attached to it is missing.
Which says it's potentially broken. So now I'm going to start panicking, and I'm probably going to go back into the actual temple itself to start looking for it.
Wait,
I'm
wait,
literally
wait, wait.
retracing all my steps.
Irina, slow down, slow down. Just take a deep breath, count to 10, and think where you last saw it. Well, yeah, I get that, but where were you?
We were in the first temple where we went through the ritual. You were there. The leafy dude was there, and Kashan was there, and we went in. And then I was kind of numb for a while.
Well, maybe I should go look in that temple.
That's where I'm trying to drag you.
That was quite a distance, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You don't realize how important this is to her.
Yeah, I'm just thinking the one you're dragging Andy, the one person has high speed movement and teleportation. Well, I suppose you could teleport. I think you've got Dimension Door, right? You could.
I
Teleport
do have
out there.
Dimension Door, but that's kind of a waste of a spell slot.
Right, you'll be here
Is
for days.
it a waste?
Yeah, you'll literally be here for days.
All right, fine. I'll Dimension Door then if it takes me far enough. I think it's
300 feet? Oh, fuck.
I think it's 500.
Where are you teleporting from? The
As close as I can get from where we are now.
okay, where are you now?
We're in the library still.
Oh, that's right. Yes. So you're outside. You want to get outside the temple.
I want to get as close to the temple as I can.
I mean,
To-
the library is underneath the temple.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You guys are
Yeah.
like, oh, it's days away. I'm like, no, it's
but
upstairs, right?
No, but upstairs isn't where the ritual took place.
I'm literally retracing my steps though. I'm going backwards from where we ended to
Yeah,
check I've
yeah.
not lost it on the way.
Okay, so you come into the library. You teleport outside, looking around. Give me an investigation check.
With Andy helping?
Yeah,
Andy will help.
with advantage. Wow. What?
Librarian.
That's a
Okay, yeah.
big number.
All right.
I
You
have a plus
retrace
12 to my
every
investigation.
meticulously retracing every single step, every place that you, as Irina, went, because you had full cognitive memory of what was going on here. Everywhere is coming up short. It's you, but at the very least, you know when you're being thorough, and you have full confidence that if it was somewhere where you dropped it, you would have found it by now.
Come on, you're good at spotting shiny things. What do your thieving eyes see?
Excuse me?
I know it, you know it, let's just...
Yeah, but you don't say it out loud.
Who's listening?
Thieving eyes.
You never know.
It's a very good point.
The walls have ears. Okay.
I don't know what to do.
Right, let's try a thing. Let's see if she can find anything. I'm just trying to remember what her spells are. It's been that long.
Does anyone have the locate object spell? It would be useful.
I've got none of her violin ones on the actual spell sheet. So...
Oh, they might be on this one, hold on. Because you're using D&D Beyond, so it's not all on there.
I thought... Oh, wait. That might be me, actually. Let me just...
I'll let you do it.
Just look at the D&D Beyond one a moment, because I think I may have forgotten to...
Okay, yeah. So she can cast Fly on herself with her violin. I thought she could.
Yeah.
And she will use that to get a bird's eye view and see if she can spot anything shiny. You know, like how a hawk would trying to find their food.
Hone in on
Okay.
it. It's about this big, it's gold, it's shiny.
Okay, I get it.
All right.
It's
You
big,
can
it's
offer.
gold, it's shiny.
Look, I feel the same way about this necklace that you do about your dad's violin, alright?
I know, but if you... Shh. So I can concentrate.
In that case, you can roll
I
me
don't
a-
like the way Jamie's laughing.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Yeah, it is just funny because things. Anyway, so you can roll me a perception check, with advantage because I'll say Irina's just told you kind of like exactly what it looks like. You're trying your best from a bird's eye view. Rather middling roll, 23 though. Holy moly. Okay. As you're flying up, you're looking for something that's going to perhaps reflect in the morning light and shine with metallic sheen, but nothing seems to shine with a golden light. But there is a few things that do shine from a silver light.
Okay.
So
I'll
if you
go
want to,
closer to each one to kind of like see what
It's
they
just like,
are.
it's not what I'm looking for, but I'll take that anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
Ooh, shiny.
Yeah, you find some sort of like geode, and it's got a silvery-looking crystal kind of sticking out of the rock of it, and
Ooh.
you recognize it as similar sort of texture to the orb which you placed on that pedestal. Do you remember to open the dungeon on the moon side of things? It seems to be made of the same sort of material. It's kind of a silvery rock. And you find like at least several of those, like 3 of them. And they're of varying sizes. One's like palm sized, one's like a tiny chip. You could probably fit into like a piece of jewelry. And yeah, another one's sort of a size of a tangerine.
Okay. So she'll collect her shinies that she has found and she has gathered. She'll come back to Irina with all her shinies and she'll be like, well, I couldn't see your shiny, but I found other shinies. So it's not here. Sorry. I'm just gonna pocket.
You don't
Well,
want.
I'm not leaving this rock until I find it. Okay, we might have to get the others to help.
Where did... Well, let's go from here. Where we went next, it was a stupid question saying, where did you go next? Because, of course, she won't
You
with
went
them.
with us, yeah.
Where did you go next? Oh, wait, I went with you.
I was there. I should know this.
I should know this.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sort of retrace our step.
You retrace the
She's
steps.
going to try and do hers exactly with her same footprint.
Yeah, you retrace them again, and continuing your 30 from earlier, you're 100% confident you would have found it by now if you'd have dropped it on your way.
You don't think maybe it went down all the way down there?
Oh no, you're talking about the massive crevasse.
No,
Where
I
you
mean, as
put
in
behind
it
you.
falling from the island itself.
Oh, right, yeah, that's the same thing, really.
Even
Yeah.
worse.
As the two of them are looking around, would anyone have noticed them looking around?
I think yes, definitely.
They're not being stealthy. Irina's
No.
literally ripping the place apart.
Carrius
Good point.
just walks over and he's just like, lost something?
Yes.
Her shiny pendant thing.
My mother's emblem is missing. I can't find it. I've looked everywhere. We retraced our steps. We've gone through everything. And
Well, the only other place we were other than this would be the mine, but I think you probably had
I had it after that.
and where you got turned into a green thing, which wasn't
sure.
here.
Really sure I had it then. I've still got the chain on, so it's obviously fallen off at some point. But I can't.
Well, this is a really obscure possibility, but considering like the Siggy leaves as they were then were all about the nature, is it possible that your natural body rejected it?
But then the chain is still there. So
Yeah, but maybe. Well,
It
at the
could-
moment I've got nothing better to do. I can go look at the other place. It'll take me a little while, but
I'm just gonna sort of like peek under my shirt. Is there like a scar where it's maybe gone into my skin or something?
No, you don't find anything like that.
Okay,
uh,
that's a no.
I mean, it's possible that either the sigil leaves or the Borzo might have magic that can help find something. I mean, there's like location spells.
Right, I knew that. I'm gonna go find someone to see if they can help me locate this object.
Okay,
The elves are more likely, I think.
really?
Do druids get locate object?
I don't know, but I was with the sigil leaves more, so they might have seen
Yeah.
it. Unless
Okay.
the Borzo took it as one of their shiny thingies.
Ooh, maybe we should check their chest.
You interrogate the Borzo. I bet it was ripped it.
Yeah, they do. Pretty much every class gets that apart from Warlock.
Alright, I'm gonna go and speak to the sigil leaves. You speak to the Borzo and report back.
Okay.
Report. All right, so yeah, you kind of set off. The sigilies kind of all mostly shaking their heads. They don't understand what you're even describing to them. They don't have any kind of
I
metal
will
there.
draw it in the dirt and just be like, and it's like this color, and I'm gonna show them the chain. It literally is this color, but it looks like that.
Looks like autumn leaves when they are falling, just before they fall. But we have not seen something of this nature.
Bloody druids.
At this point, by the way, you see that in the process, you see this huge tree folk has outstretched its arms, and they're kind of shaping it as if like if you imagine like the tree folk is like cupping their hands to form like the whole, and they seem to be shaping and forming planks together, straightening them and such. And it's all the while it's got this beautiful kind of texture of kind of like vines and wood all twisting through it. It's going to be beautiful once it's finished. You can already tell.
It's coming along great. You guys are doing a wonderful job, but you'll have to excuse me. I've got something very important. Bye.
Do you have
I've
expectations?
just thought of someone else who might know where it is.
Hmm?
My familiar was with you the entire time.
Candlewick.
Candlewick might know, and my familiar might know. That's
Perfect.
both options.
All right.
I don't know if you want to try Candlewick first. He's.
I mean, it's probably easier to communicate with your familiar because he can speak.
Yeah.
No
Oi,
offense, Candlewick, but you're a little bit cryptic.
Cat Chrome, who's probably in like his cloak somewhere. He just like, looks around, just like, oh, there you are. Wake up. All right. Sorry to wake you up. Irina's lost something, and you've kind of been with her the entire time.
Is it food?
No.
Oh.
But I'll give you food if you can find it.
I described the item to him.
You're a dragon. You like shiny things. It shouldn't be too hard for you to remember.
I do remember seeing it, but that's. I was with you the whole time. Was it? Okay, hold on. Let me think.
Because I left the familiar with Irina and it. was
Okay.
one-
Taklo has a flashback. Can you roll a perception check for Taklo?
Yes, if I can. Do I have a pseudo dragon sheet anywhere?
If not, just roll a d20 and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Would this actually? Let me just get a pseudo dragon up because they've got advantage. Yep, they have advantage on this.
Really? Keen
Yeah.
senses.
Yep. Thank God. Okay.
Nope.
So,
They have a flashback when it's like
and their bonus on it is a +3.
plus
So
3,
16.
16. I'm afraid. It's like, I don't really remember it disappearing. Hold on. You had it before the ritual when you got transformed,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have it when you. When was the last time you remember having it?
Well, I don't really remember paying attention to it while I was a sigil leaf.
Hmm.
So just before.
So sometime in between that ritual and you getting turned back. I'm trying to think if there's anything that aligns with that timing.
Do I remember anything that? I know Andy was. Was Andy hiding at the time because she wasn't supposed to be in there, or was she outside?
She
She
was
was
outside playing
outside.
a violin, wasn't she?
Right, so it was just me,
Concentrating.
Sean, and what's his face?
Andy was busy concentrating.
Okay.
Yeah, and
What
Taklo
are you
brings
concentrating on?
that up. She's like, I remember Andy was outside playing that song, right?
To try and keep us grounded. Yeah, that was it.
You were doing more than that. You were concentrating on a spell. Taklo remembered.
Okay. I'm gonna go and find Kashan because if the sigil leaf doesn't remember, Andy doesn't remember. He's the next person to ask.
I was concentrating on the spell.
Apparently.
Yep. I keep track of these little things, just in case you have to make a concentration check.
Right, I'm gonna go and find Kashan then.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I remember what effect it was. Wasn't it charm person?
correct.
Yeah.
Because if they were already charmed, then you were hoping they wouldn't be able to be charmed.
That's the one. You were concentrating on charm person.
Who were you charming? Wait, you were charming Kashan?
Yes, I still need to take my percentage of his stealings.
Stealings.
Wait.
I'm gonna kill him! I'm literally running to go find
Oh god.
You literally just see it, it's like anime style running with like dust in the background, just
Oh.
charging at Kashan.
Oh, that took so long.
Kishan, where would you be right now? Are you helping the
It
bullseye tribe?
depends. Am I hearing all of this going down?
No, I'd say they're like outside the temple, like
Okay.
where they are.
To be fair,
you'd
like
be-
Kashan's like just lifted the box over and is just kind of like walking around, oaring at the work, and is probably sat in awe with Egbert. He's like, "Hi, Egbert, you haven't come out of your satchel for a little while. Let's get you out into the sun." You'll like prop him up, and as he looks back in, he's like,
Let me see something in the distance. A fire in the distance is getting closer and
I've
closer.
seen
To
it before, I've shown him it!
"Is that a
Smoke.
flame?"
smoke billowing, and before long you see red eyes emerging from the smoke, and suddenly
Oh,
you're
hi,
face to
Irene.
face with Irina.
Isn't this yours?
You literally get like, she's literally like, just scruff of the neck, like, give it! Oh, gremlin.
Take it. I thought it was around your neck. How could you? Why did you drop it into my side? I didn't steal it. Why would I steal it? I didn't steal from you. It just ended up in my
You
side.
literally stole it!
Well, it was either
I'm
me or
gonna kill you.
Egbert, and Egbert's an egg, and I'm a monk, so I couldn't have stolen it. It was around your neck the entire time.
Well, Andy says you stole it. Apparently, you owe her half of your stealings.
Andy.
Explain yourself!
I don't have anything to explain. I took Egbert out, I sat him out in the sun, I looked into my bag, and there was a shiny golden thing that wasn't there before.
But you knew it was mine.
Like that.
Well, yes, but I haven't taken Egbert out since we got into the temple.
Asking about Edward.
He's like covering the side. It's like no shouting.
Alright, fine. No shouting.
Okay.
There's probably literally like steam coming out of her ears.
Now look.
Literally.
Oh, that's why I put the boss battle music on.
There must be a valid explanation for this.
I'm waiting.
Well, I was hoping that you found out. You're the one that investigates things.
If I knew how it happened, then I may not be angry.
I mean, maybe did you check for a hole in your skin? Maybe it went through and out the other side?
I checked. There's nothing wrong with my skin.
She's sneaking away.
Carius is going to go back to the library. He has nothing better to do.
Well, you did say that Andy told me to steal, so maybe that's who we should ask. Where is she?
Roll a stealth
Andy?
check, Andy. Roll a stealth check, Andy.
She already
I have.
did. She rolled a 21.
Oh god, yeah, she's gone. You look around. You didn't notice when she went, but she's not here anymore.
I feel so betrayed.
I think we may have found
I
that.
trusted you.
It wasn't my fault.
Just because it's the symbol of your monastery doesn't mean you can take it.
I didn't take it. This wasn't me. I have been set up. It was Llewellyn, wasn't it?
Oh my god.
Llewellyn wasn't even with us. I mean, he's a thief,
Oh,
but he wasn't with us.
He is a wizard, and I've heard
Hey,
wizards
she
do
still
very
claims you
shitty
stole those
things.
robes. They're not yours.
Ah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
makes sense now.
I Just love Jamie's face on it.
He's like, what would I do?
He looks so
You know what you did.
Just in the library.
Like, she's literally just going to put it back on the chain, and she's literally just going to hold it and just sort of walk off dejected, like, oh my god, my poor heart.
Don't talk to me on my egg ever again.
You'll be lucky if I talk to you ever again.
Oof. Well, I love that you guys are bonding before the next arc. This is great.
She's got a hot temper, she'll be fine in about an hour. Let her cool off.
Kashan just kind of turns around and is like, don't worry, Egbert. I'm sure she didn't mean it.
Do it again and that egg is going to be fried.
Right, that was crossing the line.
At least she didn't get overheated whilst in the library. She probably wouldn't forgive herself for that one.
This is very much a good point.
Carrius mumbles as he walks off to the library.
Alright, we're gonna jump to...
Jump on the nearest body of water and just...
Wait, Carius, wasn't your iguana there with us?
My pseudo-dragon, yes.
Ah, yes, that's the one.
Iguana. You're more of an iguana than he is.
Hey.
We're gonna jump to Llewellyn, I think, because you said you had some chores other than just getting the ship together you'd wanted to do for a while.
So, in the days that we have for this to be made, I need to do some scrying. I need to speak to the Bozo tribe and the Sigil Leaves. And I need to copy some spells. The other two things can be done while we're on the ship.
Okay.
But which should we do first?
Well, the first one you mentioned.
Okay, so I'll set Sorrow to start copying the spells while I'm doing the scrying.
Okay.
Save time.
And which spells are these? Have you got them all kind of thought out?
Yes. So if I go on to Elravon's sheet, the first one is Dream, which is going to take up to like 10 hours.
Jesus, yeah, that's going to take a while.
So
how did you learn this from Elravan's book?
Yeah, from Elravon's book.
Cool. All right.
Spell I never got to use.
Yeah. And that's the highest level spell that I'm looking to get from him, because I've got the rest that I want.
And you've got the ink to do this as well, yeah?
Yeah, I have. It's going to take exactly the amount of ink I have.
Wow, all right.
To get all the ones I want.
Cool. All right, Sorrow is busy writing this entire time whilst you're continuously controlling this earth elemental for some time. But
yeah, and scrying isn't concentration, luckily. So
okay, who are we scrying on today?
I want to check on Captain Montipot to make sure to see how things are going, because maybe we have to cause collision to try and save his ass on the way.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Okay, so they have to make a wisdom save unless they're willing, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I think Captain Montipot.
And I know him well. But yeah.
All right. So. Yeah. All right. So you tap into a distant ocean. A stormy sea is afoot, and your vision pinpoints a mind within the boat, within the vessel. You see that Captain Montipot is just under the what's it called, the eaves of his personal quarters, and he's giving orders to the men. We need to drop the cargo. It's the only way we're going to lose them. We can't stand a battle, not against them. We're outmanned, outgunned. The only thing we can afford is speed right now. And he is giving command to his meager crew to kind of like throw anything they don't need overboard so that they can get away quicker. And yeah, you see a couple of other individuals. Steinhammer's like, no, we can't, no. And you see Lemon and Lime. They are lifting up a huge keg and throwing it overboard. No,
Um,
please
in the
let me drink it first.
Jesus Christ, in the perspective of what I,
Being you stupid dwarf.
in the perspective of what I can see, is there like any maps about that show the direction they're heading, or
Okay, your little invisible sensor of an eye sort of like looks around. Give me a perception check. Not bad.
18?
18, okay. So you look upon the desk, and they didn't have a well laid out map of where they are, but you can tell at least where they're going because there's a compass and the needle is pointing. They are heading southeast.
Hmm. Do I know the direction of the Claude Coast?
So that would be, yeah, definitely west.
Ah, different directions.
Hmm. But it doesn't seem, at the very least, it doesn't seem they're engaged in
Combat.
actual combat. They are on the chase, though. They are being hunted. And
Ooh.
Captain Monteport seems confident in that getting rid of some extra weight or excess weight will at least maneuver away from them.
So it seems like they're heading back towards land then.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the way you guys went was actually southwest, and so if they're heading southeast, they're going to be nowhere near Midra.
Oh, so
They're going to be
somewhere
all the way south.
somewhere south of Midra.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Okay. Next on the list is going to be very interesting to see if I can pull this off.
Okay.
Zaf, the blue dragon.
All right. Zaf. Okay. I think he will roll a d20 for this because he
I-
doesn't know who's scrying on him necessarily. He's not a trusted ally of yours. So,
Yeah. But I have met him and saved his ass.
okay, well, you would have failed.
Oh,
So,
God.
the thing is with scry, I don't think they necessarily know that they're being scryed on. It's
No.
just like you're forcing yourself into their presence. There, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, you concentrate, honing in, and you see Zaf has made landing on a small outcropping of rocks, and looks like he's taken rest at the moment. And you can roll me a perception check for this as well.
Okay.
Yeah, he is sleeping currently, snoring away as he is. And a moment passes because you can concentrate on the spell for a number of minutes. And there's a light lapping of waves up against the rocks, and you catch something, a small glow or a spell being cast. And as your eye kind of like peers over the edge of some of the rocks, you see clambering up onto the height at which Zaf is resting, you see Cass,
Oh.
and he is carrying a load of conjured food, and he kind of nestles it near Zaf's maw, and you see his nostrils kind of like sniff something. His eyes are still closed, and sniffs, gets closer, and then his eyes open, sees the food, and then chomps onto the conjured food. And there's a big smile over Cass's face as Zaf is now munching down breakfast. And then he looks out into the distance. And there's sort of a discerning expression on Cass. I guess he looks towards his draconic companion and says, "Well, this must be getting close. The first sort of landmass we've encountered in days." with any luck, there's bigger ones, and that means an island or a series of islands, but nothing on the horizon yet.
Ah, so they haven't found the island yet. Oh, okay.
They have not. But there's
Oh,
hope.
and then one more for today then.
Okay.
Mainly because we haven't found out what happened with this, and I'm hoping things have gone well in the past. Tidal wave. What
Interesting.
happened? What happened at Kalandoff and her tribe?
Oof. 1 second. I'll do something real quick. Da-da-da-da. Into our own bit here.
A photo?
What's going on? Da-da-da. 1 second. Just gotta do some bits and bobs.
Even though she was a pain in the ass, she was an ally. What? What's going on? There's the fire elementals rolling. Oh my god! What's going on?
Oh no. Hmm.
Are you doing like a quick combat right now?
Mate, well, you're asking what's happening.
What's a blunt fire elemental?
Jesus. Jesus.
Well,
Hold on, if there's a blunt fire elemental, is there such a thing as a sharp fire elemental?
What the hell's going on?
who knows? There's lots going on at the moment. So, all right, you scry. Oh, that was a crit as well. Oof, not nice. That's good. Some dust of dryness. Yeah, that helped. All right. Anyway, so you hone in. I'm gonna have to roll a wisdom save real quick. Okay, looks like they fail. Oh boy. All right, you hone in, trying to find tidal waves' presence all the way across the oceans in a mountainous volcanic region known as Kalandoth. There, you see tidal wave, exhausted, bruised, scorch marks over her skin. She is breathing deeply. She has her axe in one hand, still intact, but there's sort of scorch marks all up the hilt as well. It looks like she's almost covered in soot from head to toe. And sitting alongside her, well, not sitting, but rather standing in the distance, you see Shadowstorm, I believe. Shadowstorm, yeah. He is currently battling with a elemental of some sorts. It looks like it's composed of lava and rock, and as it rises, just about to rise out of the ground, you see Shadowstorm strikes it back down and into the earth, slicing it in two. Another moment later, another one rises up. This one kind of exuding like a spout of lava, like a lava geyser. He turns around and he kind of melts away some of his skin momentarily. Tidal Wave gets up onto her feet, rushes over, and casts a Cure Wounds onto the now kind of scorched elf. As his wounds are recovering, he kind of clambers away and sort of sits down on the rock. He's holding onto his sword with both hands and supporting his own weight. And as he's now taking his deep breaths, Tidal Wave has jumped in the fray and is cutting down these fire elementals one by one as they rise. And it seems like they're taking it in turns, one by one, to sort of weather the blows. Meanwhile, your eye draws over towards the volcanic peak, and you see there is a lot of shuddering to the actual volcano. You see bits of rubble kind of tumbling down, and a tremendous amount of shaking from the earth, like tremors. And as that happens, you see more spouts of lava, like little tiny meteors, landing into various areas of the mountainside. And as these meteors crack open, you see skittering fiery elementals rushing towards them from every side, from every angle. They are fighting day in, day out.
For a whole month, about? Jeez.
Yep,
They're in their element.
they are. And it just, by the way, it is just the two of them as well.
No, they've not saved the tribe, so it's not like the whole tribe is helping them fight. Ooh.
And the thing you notice the most is it doesn't seem to be like big creatures. It seems to be just these tiny little smaller ones that are kind of wearing them down blow by blow. But you saw, well, we all know how Tidal Wave managed to cross a continent in like 2 days and not get exhausted somehow by some miracle. Yeah, she's clearly the barbarian for the job. And whenever they get injured, she's able to heal one of them up at least. It's a bloody battle, but they're fighting continuously.
That's pretty amazing, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's my spells in terms of scrying level and above for
Okay.
today. It's 2 more, but that's the next day. Other than that, it's speaking to the Borzor tribe and the sigil leaves.
Okay. So let's have that as a group discussion actually. Cause, we'll say at like the end of like day 1, you've all kind of reconvened, and
That's fine.
the Isildia mentions the ship's hull is being shaped as planned. The process is slow, but we do not wish to rush. One mistake could mean a disaster in the air. We wouldn't want you to fall to your death.
Well,
How
we
goes
very-
the more mechanical side of things, Remdigus? He looks at you all. It's like, well, was hoping at least getting some helping hands with that. We're going to need someone trained in the arcane arts.
I'm just imagining everyone's face just turns to Irina.
I mean, it depends on which arcane arts you're after.
Actually, also turns to Llewellyn thinking about that.
Everyone forgets good old Uncle Llewellyn.
That's why I said it depends on what type of arcane arts you're
I
after.
know, it's just
Well,
James's comment funny.
you're in luck. You see, we've lived for a very long time, us gnomes, but our ancestors' knowledge has been preserved. And he kind of taps his own head. Not only that, me and Yasilia, we walked the plains. We saw mystical things. In the astral seas, where we walked, our spirits walked. There were other races that could traverse the stars. They used ships that seemed to sail on liquid silver. And we borrowed a few of their designs.
Have we heard of those?
Out of game, I know what they are. Inside game, does
Yeah,
Irina know?
that's what they do we know? Like,
They are known as the Gith Yankee. It is not important who they are, but what they have to offer you guys. And I remember the schematics. I remember being quite interested in how their ships flew. That knowledge is up here, but get it into reality is going to be tricky. My skills are only one. I'm only one small wizard here. But
So,
together, I'm sure we could figure some things out.
so in terms of how we could help, the best way for you to tell us, and then I just start like preparing Rary's telepathic bond so she can send the images into all of our heads. Who's working on it?
Okay, cool. That will definitely help.
Can I use my legend lore?
Oh,
Legend lore. So, let me just check real
That's why I
quick.
was asking if Irina knew anything about the Githyanki, because if I do, that's a start.
So, you name or describe a person, place, or object. The spell brings to your mind a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you named. Wow, you don't even have to have like someone there. You just name it, and you just pull pull
I'm
the information.
pretty sure the more you already know about them, the more information you get.
Yeah.
Because I was going to use it on Baba Yaga with Hestelia.
Okay. So, what would you like to name
I remember that.
the gift themselves?
Well, no, because
Or-
he wants the schematics of the engine. Like, he's got those already, but it's like how they made it work is what I want.
Okay.
So specifically like the engines, the mechanic side of thing.
Right. Yep. Okay. Cool.
I don't know what it's called, but I'm sure what's his name does.
The choo-choo boat.
Remdagast.
choo-choo.
So, what do you? How does this look to everyone else? And how does it manifest?
Well, I would probably need to keep the gnome close by because he's the one with the information. Like, how much do I know?
Well,
Do I know anything?
yeah, you're casting the spell, so yeah. I'm
No, I
working
mean like on a basic, straight into my head kind of, I've seen this before kind of thing, just from him describing it, not like the in-depth.
Yeah. I think on the surface you've probably read about the Gith as a race, and
Okay.
certainly you remember seeing within the library here the language of the Gith as well. There's a book
Okay.
on them.
So yeah, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna get the gnome to sit across from me as well, and I'm just gonna get him to put his hands like on mine, and then Candlewick will sort of come out in his like smoky form, and he's almost gonna circle the hands, almost trying to build like a link, to sort of bring up the knowledge kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
What the kind of knowledge?
Like
Alright.
when you think about like the sort of animations that they do for like brains firing off neurons when you're thinking sort of thing, he's kind of doing that around the hands, just sort of pinging around like dee 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 dee.
For some reason I imagined you also kind of have a book that would just appear and draw the knowledge from.
Well, she does have like her book of lore.
Book of lore, yeah.
I use quotation marks because it's not lore as such.
Right. She could use that as like a focus in a weird
But
way.
she pulls out what looks like a really sort of shoddily handmade, like bound book, and she kind of places it in her lap. And it literally, there's like scribblings from there's like children's drawings and things like that in it. It's just it's the notebook that she writes everything in, but there's a really bizarre assortment of things in it.
Awesome.
With this bond as well, you'd be able to see the images of the ship that she saw. Which means not only like are you trying to legend lore this, you have the image of the actual ships. So that should help with that.
Okay. So this is what suddenly starts rushing towards you. It feels like you're being pulled to the astral sea itself. Like your mind is streaming through this kind of silvery ocean. You see blinking stars, silvery spinning discs, and suddenly the knowledge that you're searching for kind of snaps to your attention. Everything kind of comes out of warp speed, and you're focused in on this strange fortress before you. It is floating there and kind of gives off this sort of nebulous aura. And the knowledge is flooding to you, images, schematics, and how the gift exactly, uh, how they even exist in this place. And the name Tinarath, the city of death, is immediately implanted into your mind. This is a timeless place. The Astral Sea is a place of thought and a space between space. And the Githyanki inhabited numerous fortresses constructed from materials imported to the plane, as well as cities built upon god isles, the corpses of dead deities that apparently could be found within the Astral Sea. The largest residents were massive, lavishly decorated castles, owing to the xenophobic nature of the Githyanki, but were usually avoided by other creatures of the astral plane. These fortresses were sometimes as large as cities and were the center of their commerce and manufacturing. But the idea that this was built on a corpse, a deceased power, known only to the Githyanki and perhaps other void-like entities here, it seems there seems to be some sort of inspiration you're pulling from this, and as your kind of mind is connected with Remdigas's, you're pulling together your own ideas. His inspiration becomes, well, your knowledge becomes his inspiration, and his inspiration becomes your knowledge, and it's going back and forth, back and forth.
We need a sacrifice. That's literally the first thing that came to my mind, but no.
Well, the schematic is suddenly drawn up as well. You remember that the Gith are one of the few psionic races. Their ships are powered by their mental capabilities. A strong-willed Githyanki captain and crew combine their will of force to propel the ship through space towards their destination. And they would have something known as the Helm, a magical device in the form of a throne-like chair that converts psychic energy into motive force. Now, you kind of lack any psionics here. However, at the very least, your mind is kind of drawn to this, and it's pulling ideas out. If there was at least something, maybe instead of psionic energy, you had a source of energy to propel the ship. And the ideas keep flooding and flowing, and eventually it keeps on repeating itself, this dead deity idea to power something, to build something. And it seems as though the gnome friend inside your mind is not telling you something that he has secreted away in his own mind. And in this telepathic bond moment, he notices you kind of coming back to it again and again. And eventually he lets the information...
You have to share. There can't be secrets.
Oh, I think I know what this bit of information is.
Tell me everything.
He takes a nod and lets out a deep sigh, and with that sigh is a emotion of sadness, and it is a sadness of like mourning. He is mourning for his dead god, his dead goddess, rather. You see, the sigil leaves worshipped the sun, and they called that entity Helios. The Borzo, however, worshipped the moon. And that moon was what apparently was... The moon rock was literally made of that moon. There was a disaster. Rather, not a disaster, but more like a apocalyptic event that happened over these islands. The moon shattered into pieces and rained down upon the archipelago, shattering it into more pieces. The Borzo tribe then used parts of this dead deity to construct their mechanical devices. It still had the latent divine power thrumming within it. And of course, the Sigil Leaf saw this as an affront to their god Helios, being that the moon was effectively treated as the daughter of the sun. And that name keeps slipping past you every time. But I'll tell you, it's definitely something for the Orzo tribe to utilize in this moment. They could create the ship out of this material. It's whether the Sigil Leafs are okay with it or not. Because this is, of course, what sparked the war in the first place and why the two tribes and their unity broke apart. And when that happened, a curse befell them. A curse that you yourself unwove. The curse was from that dead deity. They saw that they were at war, and seemingly it reacted with this hostility and inflicted the curse upon them.
Okay, well, I can talk to them, but are you all alright with doing that?
I see, yes. You're talking within my mind right now. I think you should be the one. Yes.
You didn't answer my question. Are you alright with that? Using the
Aye.
rocks. Sweet.
This is what our people have done for generations.
Okay.
But I hope the Sigil Leaf do not see it the same way as last time. Otherwise, we could be going in a circle.
It's alright. I have an idea. It may
Very
work.
well. All right. The mind sort of recedes away, and
Slam the
starts
book
work-
shut.
he immediately starts working on the schematics and how to build one of these ships, these flying ships. And the sails that come out sideways, they're called like astral skiffs and the astral brigs.
Okay, once I come to, I'm gonna sort of look around and then I'm just gonna go, Carius, what are
Yep.
you?
Sure.
We need
not
to
sure.
do some convincing of the religious nature and you being a god worshipper. Or goddess worshipper, sorry.
Yeah.
Or,
Get it right.
may need your backup.
Right.
Uh,
So, what's happened? Why are we
So,
convincing
in
people?
order for the Borzo to be able to make the skyship fly, we need to use the moon rocks. But of course, our broken pieces of their deity's daughter. So we need to get permission from the Sigil Leaf to do so, to prevent another war and undoing the curse that I just undid.
I thought they were bits of moon rock.
Their deity was the moon, and obviously it's broken, and so technically it's pieces of their deity.
Considering it's evening time, right?
Yes, for this day.
Carius looks up to the moon, which I'm pretty sure is fully intact.
There is a full moon in the sky.
Look, I would rather get permission than have another war.
Yeah, I get it. I feel
Look,
like
I don't understand their kookiness either. I want off this rock.
Yeah, I feel like there's a missing piece somewhere.
Yeah.
For now, let's just go talk to the elves.
Yeah. We're gonna go find the Sigil Leaf.
Okay. Yeah, they're very nearby. They've been in this kind of meeting the whole time, but you've been telepathically talking, so it's all good. Yasuria looks at you. May I help you?
Yeah, we have hit not a snag, but there's a slight issue. So you know how we were going to make it like the ship fly rather than sea?
Yes.
There is a way to do it. There is a technology that the Borzo can create to do this. However,
We have seen it. I was there. I saw it with him. The gift.
yes,
Marvelous creations.
yes, but in order for us to create the helm, we will need to use the rocks, the moon rocks, and we don't want to do that without your permission, because we know that's a big deal to you. However, I would like to point out that we would technically be putting it back into the sky where it belongs.
She pauses for a moment.
She was
Oh,
meant
yeah.
to be skyborn.
Carrius just sort of leans over and goes, "That's a bloody good point."
I told you I had an idea.
Okay, you can roll me a persuasion check with advantage because of, I guess, Karis's help there with the bloody good point. That's literally I'm helping.
21.
21. That's good. That's pretty good. So they think for a moment. It looks like they were about to issue off a long list of protests and what's it called, like decrees of what they believe should and
I
shouldn't be
understand
used.
it goes against a lot of what you guys have thought in the past, but it is taking it closer to where it belongs.
We see this makes a lot of sense. The Bolzo before, though they used their skills of invention to do good, ultimately, we believe that it was the rock, the deity themselves, that cursed us, not for our misuse of it, but rather for our needless war and hatred amongst one another. I believe had our people not raised argument against them, perhaps none of this would have happened. We see that now. We are partially to blame.
And if you think about it, not only are you putting it back in the sky by doing this, you're also solidifying that unity with them to create that, like to return it to the sky between the pair of you. So that probably would please your
It's
goddess.
like a mark of tribute.
Yeah.
If in a strange way, it is like you are returning the bones of a deceased relative to their grave, except that grave is in the sky.
Yes, exactly.
Then perhaps their spirit might be put at rest. We will allow this, but I
Wonderful.
warn you, the daughter of Helios seems she has been confused in this time. Perhaps the rocks will have strange effects. I can only hope that it works the way the Bozo tribe intend to use them.
I did have one question just before we head off, because this is purely because I kind of want a more thorough understanding of this goddess, so that when we're traveling with it, I don't do anything necessary to offend or anything. But from what has been said, this goddess was the moon, and the moon broke, but there's still a moon. So
There were two daughters of Helios.
okay,
One became madly jealous of the other, or so legend says. But even I, as keeper, do not know all the answers. You saw our aura, Yes?
Yes.
You will have noticed then that there was one celestial body that was shattered into pieces. We tried to trace back the origin of when this happened, the exact date. It seemed to have been some kind of alignment. When the sun shone through one moon into the other. When both moons and sun and our own planet aligned. That is when it happened.
So it's like one moon was jealous that the sun was shining all of its light on it? Possibly?
Perhaps
Or
the other
blocking
moon,
the Earth or the planet? Hmm.
the shattered one was closer to ours. It cast a shadow on her sister, perhaps, and she definitely, I would have guessed, at least judging from ancient times, that she would have received more prayers and worship, more followers. Perhaps that's what drove her sister jealous, or perhaps something else. It is uncertain, but some points in history indicate that there was more than just her own jealousy. Some things point to an outside influence,
Hmm.
but whatever that was, only gods may know.
Well, thank you for the information. Thank you for your blessings. We will do our best to not dishonor the goddess and allow her to sail through the sky as serene as ever before.
There is. She kind of looks past the Borzo tribe. There is one more piece of information. I'm not sure if any of the Borzo remember. For the pieces that they acquired to use their inventions were simply the scattered comets, but there was a much sizable piece. And she looks out across the horizon, and she extends a long, elegant, smooth-skinned arm in the ocean. That is where the bulk of it landed.
So, is
I
that
cannot. Go on.
is that something that would be recoverable?
If it is even out there. But we saw it with our own two eyes and wept as the daughter of Helios plunged into the sea. The archipelago floats. It is unlikely that we are floating above it right now, but somewhere out there, the majority of her corpse rests.
Hmm. Okay, just one last thing on that. When you saw it fall, was it large enough to stick out of the ocean, or was it completely submerged?
The ocean is as deep as the sky. I can only guess that it sunk beneath the depths.
Right. Well, that'll make it harder to find.
Indeed. And I'm sure the time is not something you have. You will
No.
have to make do with what you have here, at
Yes.
least enough to fuel one smaller vessel. But I imagine she stops for a moment and thinks, perhaps it is best that her body remain forever lost. I would hate for the same powers to fall into more nefarious hands. And with that, she begins returning back to,
Yeah.
well,
Karis's
she says,
last
slow.
word before he heads off is
Mm.
will be, I will pray to Ryla to ask for her protection so that that body, if it is still there, is only found by the worthy.
She takes a long, deep bow and says, "It is late. We must retire."
Yes.
And she heads off. All right.
We were taking a break then?
Yeah, we can go for a quick break.
Yes, please. Caffeine flagging.
Let's do that. All right. We'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. We'll begin day 2 of this airship construction. It seems like they've already passed a lot of good checks, though. So, with luck, they're going to get there. All right. Be right back. Welcome back. All right, so we are just discussing ideas. What are we going to put on this airship? How are we going to upgrade it?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So next day, we're going to say you guys have gathered. You see that the hole has been made. This tree folk or this elemental is going to fall on asleep, and meanwhile, they're busy kind of pulling the roots away from the actual kind of arms of the tree, such that they can begin like separating it. So the hole is that was, believe it or not, one of the easiest parts about this. The druids can simply work together to shape the wood, and that isn't much of an issue. The real issue is going to be fixing this engine, this helm, they've called it, inside and having it powered by these crystals. Now, they've started to salvage many of the crystals already, several from the actual Temple of Sun and Moon already have been repurposed, as well as that huge golem that you found within there. That's had its gem repurposed as well. And you can see a load of mechanical contraptions kind of built around it. They're kind of testing it and tinkering with the power level of this stored energy. And Ripdip's working alongside those guys to deliver like just normal materials and metals from the mine. So, where do we start?
Has Andy come out of hiding yet?
Nope.
Okay. I want to try and lure her out. So I'm literally going to, like, obviously with all the vegetation and stuff, I'm gonna find a substitute for like flour and some spices so I can make like spiced bread because I know it's her favorite, and I'm just gonna sit there and try and cook it and make all these enticing smells to draw her out.
Oh god. Oh. Yeah.
Essentially, I'm making toast for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm feeding the masses.
Sure, you can roll a I guess a performance check to make this. Plus your charisma. Your cooking skills.
The performance plus charisma.
What charisma performance is. Yeah. I mean, it's alright. But you haven't you haven't got many materials. You haven't got like a whole, what's it called, pantry worth of spices and stuff.
No,
I
I'm
don't know where
improvising, but it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know where you're getting it, but I think you just put some dirt into the mixture, and Ripdip's like, that stuff's poison. It's fine. It's getting. It's the smell is definitely unique, but I wouldn't say it's something spicy and aromatic in the slightest. It's more like someone's burnt some dirt.
Let's see. Adding to leveling your cookbook. Irina's toast.
Look, I'd be able to make it better if I had the right ingredients, okay? It tastes fine any other place.
It's added to the cookbook now.
Alright, if you can do better, I'd like to see it.
Can I attempt?
Yeah,
Yes. Is it performance?
just doing cooking. We're supposed to be building an airship, not cooking, but yes, keep going.
Oh, God.
I mean, well, you've got to provide food for the masses.
It's somewhat better.
Yeah, it's not that much, but you just didn't cook it. In fact, you undercooked it. Now it's just bread. Doughy bread.
Carius tries to use Gus to blow the smell of it across.
She's
the
using
opening
Mage Hand to steal toast, therefore she's within 30 feet.
Unbelievable.
She's in the area.
Just lurking.
She's nearby.
Look, you need to come out sometime, or we're leaving without you. We need help. We're designing a boat.
21. I have passive perception at 23 anyway.
What was your stealth roll last time?
You probably find her in like the smallest nook because she's a little thing.
Oh yeah, you actually rolled a 21 on stealth as well, so you only just matched that with the perception.
My
Find a
passive
lucky
is 23,
Yeah.
but still, yeah.
She's kind of like found a crawl space to get into.
Andy, why are you hiding from us?
Because Irina would be mad.
Why is Irina mad? What have you done? I have no clue what's happened, technically.
I didn't mean it to happen. It just kind of happened. I think when I was trying to charm Kashan to stop the leafy thing, he kind of ended up stealing her pendant.
I
But
just,
they're both gonna be mad.
I just pat her on the head like, you charmed Kashan. Good job.
I did.
She may be mad at you, but remember, we're all proud of you. Yeah.
Okay. And then she kind of like comes out of the crawl space, literally crawling out.
Found her. And the toast.
Alright, who wants regular toast and who wants extra crispy?
Regular?
Alright, and she's just literally gonna hand out. It's not even like toast, they're just like wadded up like balls of dough that she's literally set on fire for a little while.
So probably the outside is
It's crispy
charcoal
and
and
the
the
inside
inside
is-
is doughy.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's like, you know when you go to like Pizza Hut, you get the garlic balls, the garlic dough balls. But
Yeah.
without the garlic.
Lovely.
I like this.
And I'm gonna head off to speak to Bozos and whatnot.
Speak to Borzo, isn't it?
Now that we've
Um,
eaten and we're all together, let's get cracking.
Hell yeah.
Alright, so what you guys need to do is, as you talked about a number of different special abilities you could probably potentially do. So, I will say there are a number of different things. The Borzo tribe have got the basic hull and airship schematics done and out of the way, but they need to. What's the word? That's right. They're tinkering with this huge crystal, this chunk that they found, and they are trying to figure out ways to reroute power. And they've basically drawn up like these pipes where it will send this energy through. The way they kind of use it, it's very strange. It's like basically they hyper heat this crystal to the point in which it vaporizes a portion of it, that then turns into cloud, which then the engine pumps out. Small fans pump out the back of the ship, which then propels the ship effectively. And the ship is then thus floating on this cloud, sailing on it. The things you need to worry about are how to reroute that power and how to actually turn the thing whilst it's on there. So, the rudder, the thrusters, what do we got here? The actual helm, so the evasive maneuvers. These are all different abilities that your ship can unlock, and rerouting power to them to repair them as well is also a thing. So, really, how are you dividing up your jobs? Is the first question. Well, actually, you don't have to worry about that now. But basically, there will probably be an engineer, a mechanic, a gunner, a helmsman. You can all figure that out later. But this is constructing it. So,
I mean, in terms of one of those roles, the helmsman's probably going to be me. I'm the one who's experienced in actually sailing. I'm proficient in water vehicles. But this is
Well, it's
technically
not
an
a
air
water-
vehicle, but it's...
Similar.
And you
Yeah.
could, or technically, Irina would be able to control it without even having to touch it because she has the shield.
That's true.
Rip Dib says, "Here, come here. I wanted to show you something."
Okay.
So, see he kind of gestures towards this long pipeline that's coming from the crystal-like device, and they are all attached to this. There's one attached to a literal cannon, and there's one that's attached to a ballista. And he says, "We got an idea to give some extra juice to these here siege weapons.
Okay.
We don't know, just don't know how much. We don't know how much juice is too much juice, if you know what I mean."
Okay. But what
Okay.
level is your juice at right now?
11.
5th level. He looks at a small dial. It looks like a valve with a needle kind of teetering in the red.
Well, let's maybe lower that to 4th level and see what it can do. Red's never a good thing normally.
4th level?
Okay, all right, that'll lower the DC at least. All right, he adjusts the valves, twists a few of the knobs, and pulls the summer flange. So he says, "All right, let's give it a test run. If anyone who wants to basically help him operate this thing can roll an Arcana check."
I'm happy to be a gunner. Oh my god.
I just look to Llewellyn and I'm like, you're the one with the brains on magic.
Okay, so the test 1 of extra juice.
That's 20.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
I'll do it.
What the?
That would do it.
What? Oh god! Okay.
Fire!
Jesus. It naturally crits. Literally just crits the wall. It's a target dummy that he has set up, and it's a mishmash of like mechanical parts you made from those rusties. And it's just like sat there, and then it's completely vaporized by the magically charged ammunition in the cannon. Nothing but he goes, "Whoa! Nothing but nuts and bolts left on that one." Oh, all right. That was literally the perfect amount of juice. We can safely say this is good to go. You see another note like, what about like test 2? Surely we should just. He's like, no, install it, get it on board. Done.
Yeah, we don't have time, and
Get it up.
what about the ballista?
Okay, so hold on. You've just unlocked another. So that's for the ballista as well. Effectively,
Okay.
you fire the ballista. It just goes straight through, like the dummy, straight through a corrugated metal plating, and you hear a couple of screams in the workshop over, as all the gnomes are like, ah, ah! You hear a hissing valve. Ah, get that patched up! Oh god, why is there a ballista bolt in this thing? Ah!
I love it.
Well, so
effectively, what you've just unlocked is the extra juice action. So once per day, you can halve the movement of the airship, power up the weapon systems, and give them a critical hit on their next attack.
damn.
What?
Straight up natural 20. You have one natural 20. So that natural 20 you just rolled there is the natural 20 now stored, ready to fire at any
Once
given
a
note.
day.
Yeah, it's once per day you get a crit with one of the cannons, or like the ballista.
How much damage does a cannon or a ballista normally do?
A lot of
They're pretty
damage.
hefty, and that critting is insane.
Pretty nasty.
Wasn't a natural cannon like 4d10 plus something?
It's nasty.
When we're
Either
in...
way, you're getting a good one. You're getting a good deal for that.
Yeah.
Okay, up next we have the thrusters. So, obviously the ship now floats on this cloud that the ship is producing, but we can reroute some of that power and give the ship a boost with these propellers, fans, and it expels a stored amount of that gas in an instant. So, who wants to help adjust these? These are potentially usable continuously if we just get the right values. It's going to be quite an engineering feat.
Engineering. Right.
But considering it is wind-based, you can manipulate the wind, right? Or is that just the
Yeah.
waves?
Yeah, if it's like wind and fans, that's probably me. Right, so how can I help with this?
Well, you tell me. We've got the thing set up. It seems to work, but sometimes it comes out like a wet fart. So too much
Uh,
moisture, maybe, in the air. I mean, farts are moisture, right?
that's true. Let me have a think.
We need it to be we need it to be a blast of air, but not an explosive blast, because that could tear the hole open, and it's bad. That's bad.
Yeah. It's tearing the hole open on
in
a
the back out of the room.
It needs to be pressurized air, not an ignition, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, and Karis will just give a demonstration just with the gust spell, which I think. I mean, I had Gust of Wind, but I no longer have Gust of Wind. Gust of Wind would be perfect for this. But I just create a small blast of air capable of moving one object that is neither held nor carried. Just like that, but bigger.
More like stored, and then boom, like pressurized, explosive thrust.
Carius, being someone who goes underwater a lot, considers pressure. Well, you can certainly have pressurized containers, but I don't know how you'd have that as like a thing that recycles, unless you had maybe like a canister that you could replace or something, maybe.
A canister.
Like a canister of compressed air, maybe.
Yeah.
You can link that up to a
Load
device.
in maybe a reusable canister as well.
Yeah, like you could pull it into maybe a machine on the ship, and it like refills it with pressurized air, maybe.
Okay, that could work. Together with this idea, you can roll me a. Well, you can either roll me an Arcana check, or there's the option to do some sort of engineering check, because you're just talking about a canister, something that can be made. But I don't think you've got any tools proficiency in like. Wait, what's your?
I have disguise kits.
Okay, yeah, this will be
I
an Arcana.
have Tinker's tools. Can I help with this?
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I was looking for,
Yeah.
actually.
If they
Yeah,
want,
that's it.
like, obviously a canister of some sort, I can almost find, obviously, if I can get Candlewick to burn up some metal, heat some metal, I could potentially make a canister.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's work on it.
Karis is
sheet-
the ideas man in this case. He cannot help. I might be able to fill it with air, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Going off your idea, and Irina helping actually forge the canisters so that they're both sturdy enough to withstand pressurized magical air, and yeah, I'll say one of you
Yeah,
can
I'm
roll.
kind of basing it off the idea of, like, you know, when you're in, like, a blacksmith's and you've got, like, the bellows working, that sort of thing.
Perfect. All right, then. You can roll me with your Tinker's tools. You're proficient, right?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, you can roll me those plus. Let's see here. Well, plus your proficiency first of all. I'm just thinking what stat to add here. You're using Candlewick to forge it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In a weird way, it's kind of your spellcasting modifier. Should be charisma. I'll tell you what, just roll with the d20 first. We'll see what happens.
Just
Roll
a
the
normal
d20.
normal
Plus-
D20.
Yeah, we're going to add the modifier afterwards, because I'm guessing it's going to be something like,
Would help if I could. Oh. There we go.
oh my.
Let's keep it going, guys.
Yes! That's crazy. Okay. All
I
right.
could say I'm on a roll.
Okay. You make
Jinxed
this
it now.
perfectly designed canister. It's got a nice new sleek design. It's got a a stopper on it that's the valve is like it just works perfectly, and it's the perfect size for installing. manually. Like you could just shove it into the docking bay, fill up the canister, and then inject it into the thruster. So, yeah, that he says that's. Are you like the secret daughter of some master dwarf tinkerer or something? Because this is a mastercraft.
No, but I had a very good teacher.
Hmm.
Several
looks-
very good teachers.
He eyes your sword up. Well, maybe that thing's keeping a secret from you. Either way, this is gonna do just fine. Boys, replicate this thing. Get it working. Do this.
I love that they're blaming they're assuming my talents come from Candlewick, and
Yeah.
not from my hard work.
You pulled off some sort of miracle, like a masterpiece. Like they're trying
I'm
to
an
figure out.
intelligent person.
Oh, they don't know. They don't know that.
I mean, to be honest, with that sort of technology, you could probably find a way to, you know, like pressurize air for people, like a non-magical way of going underwater.
Jeez, yeah. All right. So this is the test run. They insert the canister into the dock. They vaporize portion of the crystal. It fills up the canister. They place it into the thruster, and everyone puts on their goggles. Test for the 4 thrusters. Power at 6. Let's go with 3d8 plus X bludgeoning damage. All right, fire. All right, so you have no idea
What are they thrusting with this?
They are thrusting the.
Clouds.
So they yeah. Obviously, they're using clouds as pressurized air. That ignites not ignites, but it thrusts forward something. I'm guessing they've got something on a huge on a platform with wheels, right?
Carrots
just
is gonna go stand on top of it. I was asking.
Acrobatics check as you see this thing blast pressurized air. It's not like fire, but it is like this huge gout of purple bluish energy that fires out the back.
It's not a nat 20, but it's a 20.
It is a success. You managed to balance on top of the thruster as you see this thing fly forward, and it keeps going. And then, in fact, they didn't expect it to keep going. It was like the perfect. I mean, it was natural 20. You just see it keep on going, and as it smashes through the wall of the other side of the workshop, they're gonna have to have more repairs than they are freaking creations here. Anyway, you've unlocked the full thrusters ability for your engine. It recharges on a 6, so you can be used again and again. The engineer can double the ship's speed for a round, which is going to be fantastic because now you can get to the Claw Coast quicker. Also, if it collides with another object, both objects take 3d8 plus X bludgeoning damage, and the rammed object must make a strength athletics check or become grappled effectively. And you can basically board other ships doing that. So you can thrust into something, ram them, and then board them. Or just ram it into a dragon for this.
Carrier sort of, after getting off of this, just sort of walks over and is like, "Can you make me like a smaller one of those I can attach to my glaive just for a boost?"
I can try.
Yeah, it's going to be quite weighty. The thing we're making right here, look over there. He points to it. It is roughly. Hold on. Put the actual map up. Oh god! Yeah, the thing he's making is about 10 foot in diameter. Yeah, he's gonna have to scale that down considerably.
It's not something that's important right now, but maybe like once we've left, it could be something you could work on. Just
Right. Yeah, that you replicate the schematic at the very least.
yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. So next up, moving swiftly along. What do we got here? Okay. So, hold on. I mean, those are the cool abilities. The rest is like, we need. I mean, is anyone good at repairing stuff? I mean, you got the Tinker's tools. That's actually pretty good. That's good. I mean, that does the job.
Excuse me.
Oh, hello.
You have your fancy engines and your fancy guns, and you know, we're making a ship, but she points up. There's no sails.
Ah. Well, I thought the sigil leaf were doing that. And then you remember the sigil leaf saying that they were creating the whole of the ship.
Yeah,
You get like you
they
find the
said-
sigil leaf, you ask them, and they're like, "I thought the boards
I've
were
been
doing."
hiding. I don't know what's been happening.
You find the sigil leaf, and they tell you that I thought the Borzo were making the sails. No one's thought about sails up till this point. I think Andy's the first one to think about it.
Tell you what, have you got some old bed sheets, some dye, and a sewing kit?
Somewhere around here, they start rooting through a toolbox. Yeah, they find you something that works. The sigil leaf probably have better, like, parts for that.
There were some sheets in the Temple of Sun and Moon that we used part of Carius and Lavellin's trial. There was like 6 of them.
There was massive.
Oh, let's get those.
And obviously, the sigil leaf might know of like flowers that can be crushed to make dye.
Mm-hmm.
What color
That's
do you
very
want?
true. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, she flaps her cape.
I'll tell you
Alright.
what then. Funnily enough, you go and find the sigil leaf. Do you remember the old gentleman? Although he didn't have a name, he was sigil leaf. You're looking for flowers for dye. Yes. There are many wild flowers we can use. What colors are you looking for?
The colors of the night sky, apparently.
Yeah, but maybe with little constellations on it somehow. Thinking maybe that may need to be thread.
I'm sure a little bit
We're
of
using moon rock already. Can we not like find the residue and scatter that while the dye is still wet? Get it in there.
I
moon
don't know,
rock
I'm
dust.
not very good at dyeing things. I mean, I only dyed half my trousers.
I mean, they look fine.
Well, I will aid you in acquiring some of these. Come, you venture out into the wilderness, untamed wilderness. Bear in mind. You can roll me either a nature or a survival check to acquire these.
I'm gonna stay on the boat and help them with the stuff that needs doing to get this done faster. Does someone want to go with Andy to help?
The sigil leaf is helping. So
If there's specific areas, I could fly her around.
pretty good roll. That's 24. All right.
Oh, wow.
You'll need these, and he kind of points them out, and you begin plucking them and harvesting enough flowers to create this dye. You bring them back to the sigil leaf. They aid you in crushing them down, and they seem quite proficient in creating the dye. Meanwhile, you can get to work on doing the sewing and creating these sheets into sails.
Okay.
I'm thinking, what's the check for that one? I mean, it's going to be lots of needlework, so it's definitely going to be like sleight of hand, or at least a dexterity check. I think sleight of hand works.
That's good enough for me.
Yep. Okay, we're smashing every skill check here. The stitching is immaculate, and they're odd shapes because they're not just like traditional sails. You see what the sigil leaf have created are these big arcing, almost like fins on the sides of the ships, and there's not just one pair of these. Oh no, they're going to need lots of sails. They're going to need 1 pair, 2 pair, 3, 4 pairs of these fin-like sails, and you get to work tirelessly stitching these together and creating these immaculate wings for the ship to
Playing
Um,
parachute with them.
they're so good, in fact, that you've unlocked the evasive maneuver ability. So the sails are used to obviously steer and use the wind you can use half the ship's movement to make an evasive maneuver, giving enemy weapons in range disadvantage on their attacks until the next go.
Be-
So
Because it's the same sort of material, do you think as a little side project that you could make a flag with an eclipse on it?
I think so. During both
Probably,
those
yeah.
takes, you guys can work together to make that as much as you want out of the game. Like, but yeah, I think you've got the dies for it as well.
Yeah.
Is that the flag everyone's settling on though?
Are we good with that? Sun and moon come together. It's one of the things we did.
Maybe not like complete like the sun is covering the moon, but like half covering, so you've still
Yeah.
got half the sun, half the moon.
Yeah.
Kind of like the symbol of like when the two sun and moon deity things were merged together almost.
Right. Yes. Yes. I know what you mean. Yeah. It's
'Cause
the
it
crescent
seems-
moon with the sun.
Yeah, because it seems a rather fitting representation for this ship that's made by the pair of them. It's
Yeah.
another way of honouring them.
Riptip unfolds the piece of paper and says, "Well, the design is very, very fitting. I don't know if the name goes with it though. Surely it should be called the Eclipse, and not the the SS Kia Star."
No, it's fitting for us.
All right.
I mean, could we at least just, rather than the SS, just have it as the shooting Kia Star? Then it's sort of still got like the celestial thing going on.
Tell you what, whatever you decide on, you
That
can
works.
paint it.
That works.
He hands you a brush.
I'm happy with the shooting the star. Everyone else is. Sweet.
Meanwhile, I guess I'd best roll for the whole of the ship because they've been working quite a long time for this. Let's see. Other characters. Where is he? Sigil leaf. There he is. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna roll his wisdom. It'll be his nature to shape
Harriet
the
probably would have been aiding in like testing the hull with like his water manipulation.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you said you was testing the hull, weren't you? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, I'll roll with advantage then.
Yeah.
Trust my rolls to be the kind of subpar ones. The hull is beautifully designed, and for the most part, it's functional. With the 16, it's very functional, but it's not gonna withstand like a real heavy hit. It's got some like bulk to it, but they don't want to weigh it down any more than what it already is with that huge engine on board. So the hull could be thicker, but you guys are having to compromise so that you don't weigh it down.
That kind of makes sense.
But to be honest, the hull itself will probably only be really necessary as like to be like the sturdiest of things if we're on the water or if we're in combat, which we're hoping to avoid for the most part. So
Yeah, and with the 16, you don't seem to find any like leaks, no springing leaks or anything like that. They do make holes for like little portholes and windows, and you start helping kind of once the hull is done, you start working on the interiors, creating walls, doors, all the like. They even shape up desks and chairs for you out of wood, which seem to match the same decor. They make beds, they make storage cabinets and all the like. But it's functional at the very least.
Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to think what's left.
I mean, most of it's just decoration. I mean,
Yeah.
the actual spell jammer helm, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, do the like.
Yes, the helm actually is a good point. Let's do the helm.
Oh yeah.
The oh god, what am I? I've lost the word for them. The sheets. I can't remember what they're called now.
Sails.
Gone from yeah, that's the one. Went from my brain there. Does that technically class as like a stealth option?
Oh, because you've like dyed them, you mean?
Because to look like the sky.
Well, the funny part about that ship is it comes with a built-in stealth option already. As
Okay.
it propels clouds to float on, it's always hidden from below. So
That's cool.
if you saw it in the sky, all you would see is this floating cloud. So it's quite well hidden against ships on below deck, like below it. But in the sky, it's going to be obviously sticking out like a sore thumb. It's like a big vessel. For the night sky sails, definitely help it blend in at night, for sure. I would say it'd be very difficult to spot at night unless you had a light on or something of the sort. Okay. So, the helm. Yeah, here we go. All right. So, we got something together. It's not exactly a throne you sit in and plug your brain in, but it is a series of levers and pulleys and gears that will redirect power to other systems should they fail or should you need to, give them an extra boost. We haven't tested it.
Well, let's get doing that then, because I'm probably the one most likely to be flying the thing.
Okay. This one's really, really heady. He helps to try and point out all the valves. Each lever operates one little part. It's redirecting the right amount of power, adjusting things. It is an intelligence arcana check for sure.
Oh god.
Yeah, never mind. That's not my thing.
That is not a good roll.
No. Like I said, it's gonna take some getting used to.
Yeah. Alright.
Unfortunately, it's not something you're gonna be able to master overnight. I think creating this thing was ramshackle enough. Piloting, I don't even want to imagine what you're gonna have to do up there. So good luck to you, Captain. But he does say that, well, perhaps once you work perfectly in synchronicity with each other's station, you might be able to help them out. But for now, this turns the thing that goes.
Yeah.
And he walks.
Gareth is basically then just going to spend some time basically sitting on it and basically trying to remember all the instructions he's been given and kind of try to visualize it as if it was part of as part of the ship, and just be like, just like trying to translate his normal knowledge of how to steer and pilot a ship into slightly more complex terms.
I mean, for you, you've always felt the air and the wind. And the water is part of your very being. It's like an extension of yourself. Operating levers and pulleys, you're kind of out of your element. It's very mechanical. But for now, though, you've still got the evasive maneuver option. That's still available to you as the captain, which is pretty cool. All right.
We'll consider this and be like, my dad is either going to love this or he's going to hate it.
You got any ideas, Cam? You got any ideas for what to add to this?
I have nothing really to add.
Yeah.
Do we have a room specifically for incubating an egg?
I mean, there is a room with there is one bed right next to the it's right next to the actual machine. I mean, the crystal gives off a bit of heat when it vaporizes some of it. That'll do.
That could work.
Yeah, it was the only thing I could think of.
I was thinking, in case enemies got too close, we wouldn't be able to use the cannons. Is there a means of making some sort of, I don't know, flaps or something that can be extended out with force to push enemies away? And maybe Kashan could direct on that because of the way he punches enemies. He could guide on that.
Disengage from things, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. and like that push away, like a piston or
You can almost be like using like your sort of deflect missile to sort of shunt away.
that is an idea I had not thought of. So yeah, absolutely.
Just trying to
Oh,
incorporate for everybody.
Yeah. So like flaps that kind of like you pull down on, and it like lifts up and pushes the other ships out, right?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
or dragons.
It's
or
like
whatever.
it's like driving a wedge or like a crowbar to try and push out other ships.
So a gigantic deflect missile.
Yeah. How do you imagine them, Kishan? Because are they like a big metal rivet that kind of like you pull down on, or are they more like a
I'm trying to think of what you actually mean. As in,
Okay.
like, just something that kind of, like, goes... boing.
Let's say there's a dragon on the side of your ship. How are you going to get it off? Or let's say there's another vessel that's come up alongside yours and is about to board. You mean you could normally just pull away, but what if it's like it's attached to yours and it's going to be dragged with you? You need to somehow like effectively wrench them away.
The way I imagine it is the thing that made me think about it is literally the case of when Andy used the levitate situation on Kashan and they used the deflect missile to fire him across. It's almost like a...
Okay.
I imagine it like one of those springy boxing gloves, but for a ship.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to picture something like within the helm of a ship. That would work. I mean, the only thing that I can think of is almost like Dragonators from Monster Hunter, just on the side. So it's kind of like...
yeah, I see where you're coming from, like the big, huge spiked things.
Exactly. So, you
Maybe
know...
like a flat edge for pushing.
Take, like, medieval chariots. Or, like, the Egyptian-style chariots where they had, like, the pike out the end. So something like that, but in the center. And it was almost like spring activated, so if it was like triggered or booted, for example, then they would just kind of like jut.
Okay, cool.
Or maybe I could do something like, I don't know, my flurry of blows to like push down on these paddles to make it spin out, so it's almost like going out in a spiral.
Right. I think
if
so.
it's another ship or something, it just destroys the inside.
Okay, that sounds it's a complicated one, but we'll say that there is a DC involved. I think I've got one in my head, but you can. How would you gonna conceive this? I'm guessing using your wisdom of martial arts, perhaps.
I don't know where Kashan would come into play with that. Like, I'm struggling to find where.
Well, one thing that possibly both, it's something that perhaps both you and Andy are experienced in, is your experience in, due to like your past, you're experiencing that whole getting away from people. So it's kind of Kashan envisioning the best way, like if say you were grabbed, the best way to get out of that, but in this case it's your ship being grabbed rather than you.
So maybe okay, I see where you're trying to go. So it's kind of like using the mentality of, okay, how can a ship do like
how can a ship do a step of the wind,
or
whatever your disengage is? I can't remember for monks.
How do you stun an enemy?
So maybe I'll take a look around the outside of the ship and just try and pinpoint what would the weak points be. And then I will try and set up those jutting spikes, envisioning like a ship coming towards us and us deflecting it to either get it away from us or to like...
I'll help guide you on this because obviously it's to do with attacking enemies.
Yep. All right. So you can roll me It's going to be a wisdom check of some description. I'm trying to think what skill. Intelligence, weirdly, but it's going to be.
Intimidation.
I
No.
mean, considering the sort of lifestyle that might have raised him to think of this, would survival perhaps work?
I was thinking survival as well, because you come to the conclusion, the ship's great and all, but what if we get attacked? What if another ship boards us, or if a dragon grabs a hold of the side and begins breathing its lightning? It's survival is a good shout. All right, roll your survival.
That was probably my worst one.
It's almost like his
It's still
ability
wisdom.
to kick enemies away as well.
Normal or with advantage?
Yeah, you're getting help from your allies here.
Oh, that's alright. 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, mechanically speaking, this will help give like advantage to break free of like a grapple, or it might even make it harder to grapple. We'll come up with what it looks like in fluff and design later on, but you've gained an ability to where if something was to jump onto the side, the spikes can like be protruded outwards or wrench them away. So yeah, cool. And you know what, guys? Before we end, because I know it's getting late, we will say that over the next couple of days, we can always go back and retcon anything we want to, but the next couple of days, the ship is coming together. Cannons are installed. The kegs of blasting powder are loaded for it, which has been mined. The sails are installed. The flexible hinges are also worked on by the Borzo tribe.
Shield.
You have an extra couple of lifeboats installed as well, just in case you need to go out and into the open sea. You can use them to actually explore.
Do these work in the sky?
No, they will not. You can at least jump on them and hope they have a nice splash landing.
Do we?
I mean,
So-
I suppose we could install some sort of parachute on them so they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, parachute lifeboat.
A
that's
scroll of
amazing.
slow fall, I think you'll find.
Featherfall.
But guys,
Chill.
after us, like, blood, sweat, and tears have been poured over creating this boat, but also a lot of enjoyment, I'll say you're finally able to go to the airship scene. It's going to take a while to load. Let it do its thing.
I thought you were about to say we level up.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Another one.
Hopefully everything is working once you load in.
Yeah. No.
Yep. 70%.
But currently people are writing they're just writing the name. I don't know who's painting the name onto it. We have
No door.
do have-
Why did it say no door was found within my reach when I was just moving?
no. Harris, don't jump.
Harriers can fly.
Don't jump. Yeah, so, and let me add something to this real quick, which is going to make your minds, they're going to explode. But I just need to figure out which set of stairs you want to go down. So tell me on the map here, which set of stairs would you like to have go down to the next level? These ones right here?
We decide with
there's
movement.
there.
It's usually found sort of this end of the ship.
Yeah.
This end is usually a storage compartment, so you put like a big like hangar.
Yeah, would this sort of like it almost looks like a grid of some kind. Would that be a way of going down potentially?
Yeah, it is actually. Sure. I'll say you just jump down there if you want to go down.
Yeah, and they can be a ladder or something to get back up.
Alright, so let me do this real quick. This is going to be called 1 to 2, and it's the in, and then we create the 1 to 2 out over here. Yeah, you're gonna be like, what? What's he doing? Oh my
Oh,
god!
You're actually going to get rid of it, aren't you? That's
No.
actually happen.
1 to 2 out.
Oh no, this is Foundry
Yeah.
stuff, guys.
This is Foundry. All right, try it. Try moving your token onto
just-
the hat.
I just did.
Oh,
Oh!
How cool is this? It's amazing. That's what it is.
Oh wow.
Is there more beds than that?
Wait, where'd
Just
you
one-
go?
No, but there are ladders.
Where'd you go?
This is only the second floor, buddy.
So this would be Sean's room, I guess, because it's the one near the power source.
Where's the
Have a
ladder?
little walk around, guys. You move your tokens about. Llewellyn's found a thing. Is a ladder. Oh,
Oh.
Llewellyn found a ladder.
Oh!
Which one is it, Karen? Oh, he's off.
There's a door here. A sec. Ah.
He's running around.
Oh my
He's
gosh!
loving it. He's loving it. He is. I need to figure out which one.
Is this what I think it is? Like the music in the
I have to go through
background?
that door. I have to go through that wall.
Oh, I found my bedroom.
Oh,
I
crap,
see
needs to be a
weapons. I
wall.
see a loot.
Hold on, there needs to be a wall now.
I found my bedroom.
Let me just make a wall here.
Oh, I can't quite line myself up
Oh,
well
God.
enough with that square.
No, I think your bedroom's already been predetermined, Jamie.
There we
It's
go.
literally like, I can imagine it's like first dibs at the moment.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
Kashan's found another level.
Oh,
Another level?
Yep. He's gone deeper into the hole.
Oh my god. Where's the next level?
I'm
There's
lost.
so many levels, buddy.
Oh, I
Uh,
found all of the bedrooms! Guys,
How
I
do I
found
go?
something down here.
How do I get further down?
You gotta find the stairs that lead down.
There's 4 of them and I went to all of them.
Okay, yeah, I'm still working on it, alright? It's the one in the meeting room. There's a cellar. There's like a set of stairs leading down.
Oh, I see. One sec, let me get through. So down here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it's complaining.
Go on,
about-
go down into the stairs, like into them.
My character wouldn't. Oh my god.
Hey.
One sec.
Oh, there's
Having so
loot.
much fun.
I can't go anywhere.
Right, I hate to be a spoiler sport, but I have to go to bed.
Oh.
Okay. It's cool.
Oh my god.
They'll have a little fun exploring, but yeah. So we will wrap it up here. The guys get to finally explore their own little airship being put together. So many cool, fun things to find in Foundry. I'm going to be pushing to use this and unlock more of its potential in the coming sessions. So stay tuned for that. But
There's a room to...
you can tell the players are excited. I'm excited as well. It's going to add another layer of immersion, which I can't wait. And we'll see how it gets evolved. But yeah, finally the airship is complete. They are exploring, setting their own little places. I'm guessing you can probably like put your own tokens on here. And is there actually a violin? There is as well.
There's also a loot on the upstairs.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there's,
Even I
there's a
can't make
room.
stuff up.
I'm stuck.
There's a room to keep
downstairs.
all my stuff that I have.
Yeah. But thank you very much for watching. We will be back next Friday, 7 p.m. GMT. But we'll also be live on Sunday with the the Baba Yaga's Dancing Hut Witch Hunters campaign. And as well as on Monday, we'll have Curse of Strahd, the Curse Breakers. And finally, Tomb of Annihilation, the Last Resort Company on Monday as well. So, yeah, plenty to tune in for. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Amazing. Amazing.